Hallo everyone, willkommen auf meinem YouTube-Kanal Learn German with Turbo. On this channel, we are preparing for our B1 Goethe exam. So I've shared so many videos about different modules of B1 Goethe exam already. So have you checked that playlist out? I have linked that playlist and all the important videos that would be helpful for acing your B1 Goethe exam in the description below. So don't forget to check it out. Now, coming to today's video. There is a question that I keep getting again and again on my videos, that we are giving this exam for the first time. Can you please tell what does the Antwortbogen look like, or when am I supposed to transfer the answers on the Antwortbogen, and do we get an extra sheet or a rough sheet? So in this video I'm going to address all these questions and clear all your doubts. But if I miss anything, don't feel shy. You can share those questions in the comments below and I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Alright, so los geht's! So let me start by sharing the different question papers and the answer sheets of different modules of B1 Goethe exam. Starting with Lesen. This is what your Lesen question paper and answer sheet, which we call Antwortbogen, looks like. This is what your Schreiben question paper and Antwortbogen looks like. This is what your Hören question paper and Antwortbogen look like. And finally, this is what your Sprechen question paper look like. Now I want to start with the rough sheets, which is a very confusing concept for all the students when they are going to appear for B1 Goethe exam. Yes, for B1 Goethe exam, you've heard it right, you get rough sheet for your Sprechen and Schreiben module. Okay, so in your Sprechen module, you get a rough sheet and you get 15 minutes to prepare all the 3 answers of 3 tiles before you actually appear for your actual Sprechen exam. So in that preparatory time, you can write your thoughts on the piece of paper to prepare your mind and to prepare the flow of content. But be very careful not to write the entire sentences and the whole content on the piece of paper, because then you would end up reading it during your Sprechen exam. You are not allowed to read from the paper. You can only glance at the paper for 1 or 2 seconds randomly in between your content, in between your speech. So to avoid that, you write only keywords there. Now let's move on to Schreiben. In Schreiben, you get one fair Antwortbogen which looks like this, and then you get a rough sheet which looks like this. Now here you do not get any extra time to write your rough ideas on the rough sheet. You get a certain amount of time within which you have to finish writing all your tasks. So you have to use your time very wisely. If you spend too much time writing all the content on the rough sheet, you will not have enough time to transfer that to your fair sheet. And remember, you will only be marked on the basis of what you have written in your fair sheet. There is no use of writing all the 3 answers on the rough sheet and not transferring them on the fair sheet, because if you do not transfer them on the fair sheet, you will not get any marks for writing anything in your rough sheet, right? So try to again write only keywords or just short phrases that you want to use in your fair content. Moving on to Lesen module, this is your question paper and this is your Antwortbogen. Now, in your Lesen module, you are allowed to mark the answers of the questions on your question paper. Alright, so I always recommend the students to first solve the questions on the question paper itself. Proofread it, and once you're confident with all your answers, then transfer them to the Antwortbogen in the end. Okay, now it only takes hardly 3 to 4 minutes to transfer all the answers, to mark all the answers in your Antwortbogen. Now, how are we supposed to correctly mark the answers in Antwortbogen? I'm going to share that towards the end of the video. once you're only left with 10 minutes or 5 minutes for the exam to get over, the invigilator is going to remind you. That is the best time to start transferring your answers to your Antwortbogen. Even if you have not finished solving all the questions on the question paper, first mark the answers that you have already solved, okay? Because you will not be scored if you have not marked on the Antwortbogen. So whatever you have solved so far, mark it on the Antwortbogen. If you still have some time left, solve the questions. And if you do not even have time to solve the rest of the questions, or if you're confused about any question, or if you don't know the answer of any question, in all of these confusing and doubtful situations, mark something, okay? Never leave a question unanswered in Goethe exams, because there is no negative marking. But there is a possibility that you might end up marking some answers correctly. Now let's discuss about Hören section. So in this module, you get a question paper which looks like this, and this is going to be your Antwortbogen. As soon as you get both the things, keep your Antwortbogen absolutely aside. Do not be tempted to fill in the answers in the Antwortbogen during the listening time. Do not make that mistake, because you get few minutes after the audio has stopped playing to transfer your answers on your Antwortbogen. So do not worry about filling your Antwortbogen during the audio time, okay? Now, once the audio starts playing, you can use your question paper to mark the answers or scribble down those little thoughts that are coming to your mind, okay? You can do that in your question paper. Complete all the tasks in the question paper, mark all the answers in the question paper. Once the audio stops playing, in those last 5 minutes that you would get specially for filling your Antwortbogen, transfer your answers correctly. Now let's talk about how are we supposed to mark the answers correctly. Now if you have appeared for A1 and A2 Goethe exams already, you know how are we supposed to mark the answers correctly. But there are many students who are appearing for B1 Goethe exam directly, and they do not know how to mark the answers correctly in the Antwortbogen. So they always ask me this question. So now I'm going to share how do we do it. First of all, when you enter the exam hall, the invigilator is going to explain this to you very clearly. She is going to give you all the instructions about filling the Antwortbogen correctly. Also, on all of your Antwortbogens, you're going to see a box on the top right corner which tells you all the possible wrong ways of marking the Antwortbogen, and it also shows the correct way of marking your answers. But I'm still going to explain it for you. How do we do it? So we mark the correct answer with a cross, okay? And the cross has to touch all the 4 sides of the box. Try to make it properly within the box, and all the 4 corners of the cross should be touching all the 4 corners of the box. So you should mark it correctly like this. If you mark it in any other way, your answer will not be detected and you will not be scored for that particular answer. So be careful of making a cross properly. Now what if you mark a question, suppose you mark option A. Now you want to change that to option B. What do we do in those situations? So in those situations, you fill in the box of option A completely, like in this image. And once you have done that, you can proceed to mark option B as your correct answer. Alright. So this is how you can also change your answer. But remember that if after some time you want to mark A again, now you cannot do that because you have filled that box completely with the pen. So you do not have a choice of going back. The invigilators are going to be very helping. They are going to give you all the necessary information, all the necessary instructions beforehand. Okay, so prepare well. And if you have any doubts regarding Antwortbogen, you can ask me in the comments. I'm going to answer them. If you found this video helpful, share this with all the friends who are also going to appear for B1 Goethe exam. Let's meet you in the next video. Viel Glück!